Recently, representatives of Vermont Access Network, or VAN, converged on the state capitol in Montpelier. VAN represents local community television stations located in Vermont. VAN members attended the governor's coffee hour, met with legislators, and were recognized for their work with a resolution read from the floor of the State House. VAN members also testified in various House and Senate committees about the challenges facing community media across Vermont and the nation.
25 community media centers that operate 80-plus channels in the state of Vermont are greasing the wheels of democracy. So you're seeing your select boards on those meetings, on those channels. You are appearing in election forums. I'm not sure, I know some of you have been on election forums. We also supplement public education through our educational access channels. So we provide educational resources that public schools can't or are not able to for one reason or another. And we provide a free speech forum, which is, we hold that truth to be self-evident, especially in Vermont, that more diverse ideas make for a more robust community. So we really are an important part of the fabric of the state. And the state of Vermont recognized this even before the federal government recognized this in 1984, when it required then Cox Cable to provide public access channels. And the Public Service Board has, in decision after decision, required the cable operators in the state. In the 1980s, there were 50 of them, if you can believe it, and now there are 6, I think. But that as a condition of them doing business in Vermont, to provide these channels and to set aside revenue. So there are 4 or 5 issues that we wanted you to be aware of, because the state's ability to require PEG access and to move this public benefit forward into the future is being compromised by these threats. And so the question that we want you to be aware of and thinking about is does the state still believe that this is an important public benefit? And if so, if our regulatory authority is being eroded in the ways I will describe, are there other ways that we can advance this?
Mike Wassenaar, the president of the Alliance for Community Media, joined the group of Vermont leaders for the State House visit. He gave an overview of an impending threat from the FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, that could significantly cut operational dollars for the estimated 3,000 community media centers in Vermont and across the country.
There's a proceeding that's going on at the Federal Communications Commission, which is the agency that basically administers federal law when it comes to cable. In this case, we feel that the Commission is putting its thumb on the scale more toward the side of the corporation and corporate interest, to ensure that less and less money goes to local organizations and local communities to be able to communicate with one another. So we're trying to fight that case with the FCC, and we've been asking folks around the country to step up and tell their congressmen and women and their U.S. senators that this is wrong, that it's an unfair bargain that's being placed on local communities. So that fight's going on right now. If we lose that fight, there will be less and less resources coming to local communities for content creation and meeting coverage, and because there won't be a market solution that comes forward to be able to have more local content. All the market solutions with media are about bigger and bigger audiences, national and transnational audiences, media products that you distribute, for many, many people, and it's not about the small or the local. That's a profound problem for Vermont communities that want to tell their own story, want to preserve their own history, want to understand how local government works, want to transmit those traditions to other generations that use media, and want to connect with one another to make sure that the community can understand itself better. I think that's something that I think most Vermonters really resonate with, that they understand and they want. So it's important for us to preserve that part of the Cable Act and that part of Vermont law. And that's the reason why I think a lot of Vermonters are fighting the FCC on this issue.
The Vermont Access Network is asking the legislature to create a summer study committee to consider policy directions and to explore new models for restructuring and funding local community media outlets. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.